Whiskey Gaming, and this is my late review of Kingdom Come Deliverance. I played it on the Xbox One, it's also available on the PS4 and PC. So I really like the story in this game because it's, well, medieval, and I love medieval history and all that jazz, which is pretty cool, and they actually do use some medieval history in this game. They use some events anyways as the setting for this game. You play as young Henry, who is a blacksmith's son and apprentice, and well, your village gets raided by King Sigismund's army. Unfortunately, during the raid, your father and mother get killed, you run off with the sword that was meant for their lord, you come back to try and bury them, and well, the sword gets stolen. Man, shit goes wrong for you. And that basically summarizes the prologue of this game. Your quest, however, is to basically avenge your parents. And I gotta say, I actually really enjoy the story of this game. It could just be that I'm a big history guy, but I did enjoy that. As for the audio, I did run into times where there were definitely missing sound effects, and that kind of bothered me, but overall the sound effects in combat and like in the woods and whatnot, they're good. I also enjoyed the music in this game. It definitely has that medieval vibe, which is a good thing, and there's background music when you're traveling across the country, which is also a good thing, because you do a lot of traveling in this game. However, the voiceover work varies greatly from pretty poor to pretty good. None of it is really excellent and none of it is really horrible, and it just varies from actor to actor. As for the gameplay, this is kind of where the game shines and falls apart all at once. It's an open world RPG with a lot of melee and archery. It's like swords and sorcery without the sorcery, essentially. And that's a lot of fun, and I enjoy that, but honestly, it didn't feel like there was a lot to do in the world. There were things, but, you know, a lot of it wasn't very compelling. And when I was out in the world, I didn't often find things to explore like I have in other games, so the world felt a little empty in that sense. The combat works okay. I like the idea of the combat more than the execution of the combat. I regularly found that the combat felt very inconsistent. But I like all the other little things that are in this game. There's so much potential, but unfortunately a lot of it's poorly executed. Another thing that's very poorly executed, if you're trying to be a sneaky individual, well, you can't really melee when you're sneaking, and well, picking locks, which is a very sneaky thing to do, is shit. Just complete and utter shit. And it boils down to both the mechanics and the controls for it, and from what I understand, it's a console problem. On the PC version, the controls for it work much better. But the way they work on the console is, well, not well at all, and it makes even locks that are rated as very easy or easy very difficult. It makes it so that lockpicking isn't an enjoyable thing or something that's really worth your time. Because A, lockpicks are expensive, and B, you break them so easily on some of the easiest locks. Also, I'm going to pull this up because it's a huge gripe I have with this game. The saving mechanics on this game are shit. Why are they shit? Because the game saves automatically on its own, but at really weird times and inconsistent times. So you can very easily lose an hour of gameplay. And believe me, it becomes a huge problem because it's very easy to die in this game because it's more realistic than a lot of other games like this. But not only that, while you can save manually, you have to have an item in which to do that, which is just complete and utter bullshit. I think so long as you go to sleep, that should be a save. But it's not guaranteedly a save, which is a pain in the ass. Some of the things like them trying to make this more realistic end up making it a less enjoyable game in some ways, like healing. One of the only ways I really found to heal was sleeping, and the problem is you can't always sleep when you need to, so you might end up going into a battle with less than full health, and you could be completely screwed. One of the gameplay mechanics that I actually did enjoy is you get to go around and sometimes investigate things. There's a lot of talking and solving kind of mysteries at times. But there's a lot of talking and it's very based on like you can pick this, this, or this, and sometimes those will have like your skills attached to them so that you have a better chance or failure, and feels a little bit like, let's say, at Mass Effect. We've seen it before. But I did enjoy the way they implemented it in this game. I can totally see the potential in the mechanics. The problem is a lot of them were good ideas but very poorly executed. I'll also put this in here at the end. The prologue of the game, while interesting, has a lot of shit things going on. A lot of things poorly explained that bite you on the ass and make it take way longer to finish the prologue than it should. As for the controls work well for the most part. Like I said, the lockpicking, the controls are shit. They do not work well. There are things that just don't work well in this game, and they could work very well with small changes. The combat, the controls actually work very well, although I will admit, and it's probably because it's meant to be more realistic, the character does feel a bit sluggish. So overall, I felt like the controls worked well. Let's move on to the graphics. Unfortunately, this game doesn't shine in the graphics department. It feels dated. Not that it looks horrible, but it also doesn't look great. My overall opinion on this game is that it's sadly lacking. I really wanted to enjoy this game. I really wanted to love this game because it's based in a time period that I very much enjoy. And a lot of the stuff I saw in advance made me excited for this game, but unfortunately, there's a lot of things that were poorly executed throughout. I gave a few examples, but there's definitely more throughout the entire game. And some of those things just really bite you on the ass, especially the combat and the saving. So my overall thoughts are, as much as I want to love it and want to recommend it, I can't. I wish I could. If it was like $30 and fixed, like some of these busted ass mechanics actually worked, then I would say, yeah, $30, $40, it's worthwhile. But as it stands, it's a full price game, and there's a lot of shit in here that just doesn't work the way it should. So I've got to say skip it, maybe check it out in like 8 months when people have been bitching and moaning, and maybe they'll fix it. I don't know if they actually will. This isn't a huge game, so it's hard to know. Okay, so in the comments below, why don't you tell me if you're excited for Jessica Jones Season 2? Yeah, I know, it has nothing to do with the game I just reviewed. I'm just excited for it. And as always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button, and if you like what I'm doing in general, share, subscribe. Have a good one.